Hi, my name is Renate Stuurman and you are watching SA Film Chronicles.
Hi guys, my name is Eddie from SA Film Chronicles. Thank you very much for joining me. You guys look absolutely beautiful. So please introduce yourselves, okay? Your name, your surname, the country that you're from, and the Netflix productions you featured in.
Hi, my name is Renate Stuurman. I'm from South Africa and I'm currently on Happiness Ever After on Netflix. It's a film.
Right, my name is Kate, actress from Kenya. Currently on Disconnect too. It's coming.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. So, since Netflix hit the African shores, it's been something exciting and everyone's been, over the moon and looking forward to it. I just want you to tell us, Renate, we'll start with you. Can you just tell us the impacts that Netflix has had on the South African film industry?
I think it's been an incredible, I want to say an eye-opening experience or like an industry-opening experience to have actors, crew, directors, producers have the opportunity to tell their stories to not just a South African audience or maybe an African audience, but like to the world, to take our stories and show the world what we're doing, and that what we do here is on par with any filmmaker, on any continent, in any country. So it's been an incredible experience in that sense for me.
Yeah. And with you, Kate, in the Kenyan film industry?
For me, it's growth because I felt like at some point in my country I'd hit the ceiling creatively and getting a chance to maybe collaborate with South Africa and Nigeria. So for me, it's growth for me, and I'm so appreciative. Yeah.
And you speak of collaboration, which is something that's very important, and yeah, can you just give us in more depth of how important is it for Kenyan actors to feature in South African productions and then so forth?
I mean, like Renate said, we are able to showcase our work beyond Kenya. For me, I'm going continental. And for me, just being able to meet these guys, we watch them from home. I never thought it's a potential thing, like we could collaborate together and grow together. So I'm excited about that.
It feels as if Netflix coming onto this continent has almost given us this opportunity. It's almost shrunk the world in a way, which sounds terrible, but it's really not, because it's given us all this opportunity to kind of commune and to be together, to talk about our work, to work on projects together. We're not in little silos anymore. You're in Kenya, I'm in South Africa, someone else is in Nigeria, and we see, but we don't know how to reach out and connect, and sharing all of this work on one platform all of a sudden makes us part of a community as performers, and as a continent it just really means that people can stop and listen to us and see what we're doing.
And I agree with you. And also another thing that I've realized that diversity, I think Netflix supports diversity very well. And I mean, speaking with your production that you were in Happiness Ever After, it's amazing to see women leading. Can you just tell us about that experience of how well?
I mean, I think we're living in a time where it's not an anomaly to see women leading a production, whether it is kind of in the more traditional genres like romantic comedies or whatever, but in action films and dramas, we see it across the world, and it's being it's permeated our continent and our country. So what is happening in the world is happening here. We're no longer 5 years behind, or we watch it and then we catch up in 3 years, and only then do we attempt, or only then do we join the conversation. We are part of a global conversation because of this platform, and we are able to give our own interpretations to whatever the trends might be, or whatever the new movement might be in terms of film or television, whatever the case.
Kate, why do you think it's important to have female representation in our African stories?
All right, first and foremost, I just landed a lead role in film. It's been a long time. I've been in the industry for 15 years. So Disconnect too, I'm playing lead and I'm very excited. For me, it means a lot And from where I come from, it's even deeper. It goes deeper because of colorism issue, and Netflix has addressed that. Like we have leads with my color, and it means it's progress. So we are very, very excited about that. And it's important to have women because, as we say, we've made progress, and we never used to get these roles that we're getting right now. And we used to see the African woman as a powerful woman, given these powerful roles, not, you know, supporting the man all the time. And I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to see.
It's interesting because, you know, like there is this understanding that as African women we are powerful, right?
Yeah.
It's like such a like well-known idea, and but to actually see it happening is a different thing, right?
Yeah.
Like to see that portrayed in film and to show women, like, you know, that thing that you do in your daily life, we're going to show it back to you.
Yeah.
You know, women are leading, and it's important that we show them that. Even in the things that they consume, whether they're just like trying to relax at home, they need to see themselves in those positions, you know. I also feel like we come from a space where it's like you said, it's like very patriarchal. You know what I mean? Where it's like a woman's place to kind of just stand slightly behind the man and never to fully step into her own, and never step into her own power, her own light. And now it's that time, and there's no need for us to be apologetic because we know that we can do it, you know.
And like, what do you guys feel about like why do you think African stories are important to tell to the rest of the world?
I think we've been telling them, only that now people get to see them, and we need to change the perception that the outside world has. And I think Netflix has achieved that. When they were shooting Young, Famous in African, you saw the comments, is that Africa? Did they shoot it here? Like, this is Africa. And the perception has to change. We're not saying, we're not begging. This is who we are. We just didn't show much. We didn't show that side of us. They showed another side of us, and now we're telling our stories.
I think that's it. I feel like it's time for us to take control of who we are and how we are represented in the world, and it's time for us to say, you're not going to come here anymore and tell us who we are. We're going to tell you who we are. We know our stories are fantastic. We know that already. You don't know that. So take a seat and let us show you what we can do. That's why our stories are important, you know? We're part of the world. We love watching Korean stories. We love watching film from South America or wherever. And we too have a space that we have to occupy, you know? And that's what Netflix is doing for us, you know?
And that's a brilliant answer, guys. And thank you. That's a really good answer. And you know, I mean, you guys are always in the limelight, and you know, social media followings, and there's always the spotlight is always on you. So I want to know, how do you handle criticism?
I think there's a difference between like criticism and trolling. Right? Because like you mentioned, like being online and having followers and stuff. I think any artist is open to hearing people's thoughts on their work, right? Like just whatever it is, we can discuss it. It's not as if we're putting the work out there for it to just like have like a little glass jar over it and we don't talk about it, we don't touch it. But I think what's happened with social media is like some people are just like saying things to be hurtful, to like break you. That's not criticism. That's something else. I'm always open to talk to people about what they think of my interpretation of a story, of a script, of a character, whatever. That's a conversation we can have. But just breaking people down for your own, I don't know, enjoyment, I'm not interested in that.
I love criticism because I'm not performing for myself. I expect a reaction. But being in the industry longer, I know how to differentiate I take in what is positive and just ignore what I feel like is harmful for me. So I'm able to block, delete a comment if it gets to me. I know how to deal with that. I think I've learned. I have the tools to deal with that. But I'm always like open to positive criticism because that's what we live for as artists. Like we want feedback.
And Kate, you mentioned that you're featuring in Disconnect, right? So what was your reaction when you found out that you got the role?
It was about time. I told the director, because I was in Disconnect 1, and I was like, my role was very small, but I think I overdid it. And they're like, we need her for Disconnect. So I earned it. Let me start there. I think I earned it. I did,
And I mean, Renate, for you it's a bit different
Yeah.
because I mean it was a sequel.
Yes.
But I just want to know what were some of the challenges that you faced when you were shooting Happiness Ever After?
You know, like you said, it was a sequel, right? It had been about 5 years since the first film came out, and the first film just took us all by surprise, like the reaction to it, and we weren't expecting it. We were just kind of making a film, and then it really blew up. So the pressure then to come back and do a sequel, and then to hear that not only are you doing a sequel, it's going to Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's like it almost like intensified, you know. So I feel like the challenge was in my head, if that makes sense. Like it was in my mind to try and get through whatever I thought that meant, you know. Whatever it meant, because we had an audience who loved the show, who are going to come back and go, okay, so what are you doing? How have you moved the story forward this time? And then you have to do it to a level that is now for the world, right? It's South Africa. We're representing South Africa, you know, to the rest of the world, not just South Africa, not just, you know, our country. So for me, those were the real challenges I had. The script, the story, getting our team back together, that was the pleasure, you know. It's getting your mindset right always.
And did you experience any major challenges?
Yes, I did because like she said, I'm not performing for Kenya anymore. It's a global audience now, and the pressure is real. When you're playing lead, I mean, Renate is gonna watch me. I have Osas watching me. I have this, and I have that in mind, and I have to do my best. I have to perform, and the pressure is real. Yeah, but you just do your best.
Yeah, you do.
And I like how you speak about pressure, because I think that's a very important. It's important that you mention that. And I want to ask, like, how do you handle pressure?
I think I have a release system, which is my family, that also keeps me grounded and sheltered. So that's how my family is my shelter. You can say that. Yeah.
And I mean, what genres would you guys love to see African filmmakers explore into more?
I would love to see like sci-fi.
Yeah.
I would love to see us go into like sci-fi, some kind of AI, or even
more
like
blockbuster, more action.
like some like massive period piece, something like fantastical, you know, like Game of Thrones, whatever, something like that. I think we could do an incredible job of something like that.
Okay, so you also
Yeah. Yes.
And
anything futuristic, like I want to see that.
Yes. And you know, in terms of the African film industry, you know, we're still growing. You know, we're like, you know, small dynamite, but you know, we produce incredible stories and that. But I want to know. I mean, you guys are, you know, like seasoned actors and actresses rather, and you guys are absolutely amazing. So, but I just want to know though. Do you feel that, in terms of content of African film, do you think that it's not as great as previously, or are we improving?
We've made progress. Serious, from where I come from my country, we've made progress in a mighty way. The stories we are telling now, in terms of quality, talent, we've grown. In my country, we've made tremendous progress. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I think South Africa has had a very strong industry. It might not be big, but we've always produced incredible film.
True.
And I think what's happening now is like we're kind of like it's being finessed, you know, like we're nuancing it. I think before we had to tell certain stories, it almost felt like it fell into areas or blocks of like, this is what the South African film looks like, or is it this or is it that? And what's happening now is like we feel, to me anyway, it seems like we feel free to tackle whatever story. It might not feel like, oh, this is like typically South African in all the kind of ordinary ways that we know well. But we're telling more nuanced stories because we've grown, and there's a confidence in our industry and in our filmmakers, especially young filmmakers who are coming up now. They have their own voice and their own very particular story that they want to tell, and it's looking at our country and ourselves in a way that we're not used to, and it's exciting, you know. We're not just seeing the same old thing anymore.
I mean, watching Savage Beauty on Netflix, I wouldn't even tell it was the quality and the talent and the new talent I got to see was, it's exactly what she's talking about. Yeah, it's new stories, it's a new vibe.
I loved it as well. And just the last question for both of you. If you had to play another character on a Netflix production, who would it be and why?
Oh, like any Netflix production. Doesn't have to be.
Okay, let's say any African Netflix production. Yeah.
I just watched. We got to watch.
I know. I was
for the
just thinking
premiere.
that.
Justice Served.
Yes.
I would want to play Renate.
Babes, you know you just took the thing. You came into my mouth and took the words. Yes.
I would want.
Oh, yes, me too. That was incredible. Her performance, and we only watched one episode. She was incredible in Justice Served. What else is there? Oh my gosh! You know when you have to think about something, you're suddenly immediately blank. Yes, help me. Yes. Yes, Blood and Water.
Kings of Joburg.
Yeah. Oh my God. We've done so much. It's amazing. Any of them. But yeah, Lorata's character on Justice is Served is incredible. So strong, and the show looks amazing. So I lean towards that as well now. You know, like seeing women in stronger positions, like you know, running things. She's a cop. She's a brigadier. You know, it's proper. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Guys, thank you. We've come to the end of our conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.